Blake Lively just got caught in a video at a hotel, and this could mess up her $400 million court case against Justin Baldoni. After this new video came out, people are calling her a mean girl, saying she's like Amber Heard, and this might be the biggest mistake of her whole career. So what happened? Why is everyone so upset? Let's talk about it. The hotel thing.
Yeah. Is she like Lively? Don't look up.
So Blake Lively was in Austin, Texas for a big event called executives.What. She was there to talk about her new movie called Another Simple Favor. After the event, she and her friends went to Hotel 1928 in Waco, Texas. This hotel is owned by Chip and Joanna Gaines. Sounds like a normal weekend, right? Well, not really, because at the same hotel, a TikTok girl named Caitlin Marie Cooper and her mom were staying there too. They were just hanging out in the lobby area when they saw a bunch of hotel workers running around. It turns out they were getting ready for a very important guest, and surprise, surprise, it was Blake Lively. Now, Caitlin did what most people would do when they see a famous person. She took out her phone and made a short video of Blake walking into the lobby. Nothing too crazy, but it seems like Blake wasn't happy about it, and that's where things got really weird. Blake Lively's reaction.
Her team caught wind of this, I believe. Maybe saw me recording her on the security camera, did not like this, thought maybe I recorded something they didn't want out there, didn't want me to see, whatever. And next morning, we kind of were being followed by her security guard a little bit. On the way out, checking out of the hotel, Blake Lively herself comes out, starts recording us, says hi to get us to look up at her, circles our car, gets the car information, license plates, all that.
Okay, so Blake Lively sees Caitlin recording her. Instead of just ignoring it like most famous people would do, she decides to make a big deal about it. According to Caitlin, Blake went to the hotel gift shop, bought a hat, like that's going to hide who she is, and tried to disguise herself. But that's just the beginning. The next morning, when Caitlin and her mom were leaving the hotel, Blake's security guard was following them around. And then, wait for it, Blake herself comes outside and starts filming them. Like she's full-on recording them walking around their car and even writing down their license plate number. Why? What was she trying to do? Now people online are saying this is creepy, mean, and straight-up bullying behavior. Like, imagine a famous person filming you just because you took a random video in a hotel lobby. And it gets even worse. Online bullying starts.
Online started the next day. Her lawyer, her social media person, her nanny were looking at my stories. They ended up making troll accounts, and someone called me.
So Caitlin talks about the whole thing online, explaining what happened to her. And then weird accounts start looking at her stories. Some of them were connected to Blake's PR team, her lawyer, and even the hotel manager. And then random mean accounts started bullying her, calling her bad names, making fun of her vacation with her mom, and even making jokes about her wedding date. Like, what? All this over a hotel video? Who does that? And here's where people really started turning against Blake, because she's always had this cool girl reputation, right? But suddenly she's acting scared, mean, and controlling. And if this is how she acts when one person films her in a hotel, imagine what she's like when no one's watching. Now, if you thought the hotel video was the only time Blake Lively did something wrong, think again, because it turns out she and her team might be running a whole secret plan to shut up and control content creators. And once you put all the pieces together, it's honestly scary how far she might be going.
So bizarre. I mean, I can't think of a scenario why Blake Lively herself would try to get their information. Only maybe is if she's wondering if they're working with a paparazzi or maybe Blake Lively's so paranoid to think that she's being followed by Secret Service, followed by like a private investigator. I truly don't know.
Anyway, let's go back. This whole thing really started when Blake did something wild. She hired a former CIA officer as her crisis PR manager. Yes, really. She brought on Nick Shapiro, who used to be the second in command at the CIA. That's not normal. Shapiro isn't your regular Hollywood publicist. This guy has experience covering up serious stuff like crimes and armed rentals. There's a report that he helped pay a woman $7 million to stay quiet after a scary incident. That's the kind of guy Blake wanted to manage her image. It feels like way too much. Why do you need someone who works in secret unless you've got something to hide? Zach Peter and Popcorn Planet Blake's smear machine.
Up the cover up Shapiro. So when you see these sort of conspiracy things come forward and you realize the dirty secrets and things that he's been covering up, does it surprise you that Blake Lively brought this type of guy in to do it?
I don't think this looks good for her. Like, I know she thinks that, like, yeah, she brought in the big guns, but now that, like, he's been exposed, we now see the Achilles heel here. We see that he is this guy that's tied to all these different controversies and cover-ups. That, to me, that doesn't help her case because it just makes it look like she has something guilty when his past is covering up crimes for Airbnb.
Zach, Peter, and Andy from Popcorn Planet even called this out. They said Blake's team is playing dirty, using legal tricks and sneaky press moves to make her look like the victim even when she's clearly not the victim. They also pointed out how her legal win wasn't even a real win. She got a limited protective order, but only for her health and safety stuff, which Baldoni's team wasn't even trying to get anyway. But the media made it sound like she beat him in court. Total PR tricks.
Now they're saying Blake has a victory in court and she's winning, and I'm like, is she though? Because, like, she didn't really win anything. She, like, technically got her attorney size only protective order, but it was really just for the meek arguments that her attorneys gave in court of being like, oh, well, she needs this because of, you know, her medical records and because of her security. And so the judge is like, okay, fine, you get it for your medical records and you get it for your security, which Brian Friedman made very clear. We're not interested in those things.
Zach also said what everyone's thinking. When you hire someone like Shapiro, who's famous for cover-ups, it makes you look guilty. Like, why do you need a CIA fixer unless your side of the story is falling apart?
Their fault. Batman, no, it's Blake and her team coming after us.
Caitlin Cooper isn't the only one. More and more creators have started coming forward saying Blake's team is actively going after them. One creator literally said,
Blake Lively team, I am pretty sure it's coming from them. Let's put it that way. Because of a lot of things that I will go through in this video, because some of you guys dig a little deeper. You dig deeper on this guy called D.F. Levitt, who created a lot of the new changes. So this guy came out on Substack in an article saying that he thought my Wikipedia page was suspicious. Why? No reason. He just thought it was suspicious that I had one, and that this guy who created it, he was wondering who he was.
Another creator named Flo talked about how someone tried to ruin her reputation by editing her Wikipedia page. She says her page got edited over and over by a guy named D.F. Levitt. It turns out this guy has direct connections to Ryan Reynolds' team. And guess what? After those edits, articles started showing up online painting Flo as a racist and an unreliable journalist. And somehow the first article that shows up on her Wikipedia page is a piece defending Blake and calling Flo rude. How convenient.
Glamour magazine published this horrible article about digital content creators that they named Mommy Sleuth as being part of this hate machine that's against Blake Lively. And my content, by the way, was not listed in there, but I did notice that some of the content creators covering the story that I have actually had conversations with and have contact with on Instagram and have spoken to were referenced in this article, and I found it pretty offensive.
So now not only are fans being followed and filmed, but creators are also getting their online presence changed to make them look bad. It's all part of the same plan: silence, control, and destroy. Another creator named Katie from Without a Crystal Ball said Glamour magazine published a whole article calling creators part of a hate machine just because they questioned Blake's behavior. Katie wasn't even mentioned in the article, but some of her friends were, and it was clear who the article was trying to defend.
The spin at Glamour magazine was that if you don't support Blake, you must be a misogynist.
And here's the crazy part. Glamour has featured Blake multiple times. They put her on their cover. They need to protect their access to her and her friends like Taylor Swift. So of course they're going to bash anyone who doesn't support her.
Claims in her amended lawsuit that Her It Ends With Us co-star and director made multiple women feel uncomfortable and sad.
I thought we were friends.
But in Blake's latest filing, she doesn't name names nor any text messages as receipts. She says it's to avoid continued harassment and targeting of innocent bystanders.
Katie said the article basically called any woman who doesn't believe Blake anti-woman. It was written by a former Fox News editor who now works at Glamour, someone who conveniently has ties to Ryan Reynolds' business circle. Are we starting to see a pattern yet? What a coincidence. The same week Blake Lively hires a former CIA PR agent, content creators start getting smeared. One fan wrote, "So this is how this ruins her $400 million lawsuit against Justin Baldoni." Now, here's the part where things really go bad for Blake, because this hotel incident could destroy her lawsuit against Justin Baldoni. If you don't know, Blake is suing him over the whole "It Ends With Us" drama. She's trying to claim that she was mistreated, sabotaged, and manipulated. Basically, she's playing the victim in the Hollywood legal game.
Why do you believe that these allegations may have teeth?
Well, first of all, remember this PR team was the same PR team that Depp got back in the Amber Heard v. Depp case. Now, most PR firms, you assume, are supposed to promote their clients. That's not what this PR firm does. And what's clear in Blake Lively's complaint is they do exactly the opposite. They go out and intentionally fabricate stories, create smear campaigns, and the TikTok and all the other social media. And that's what happened to Amber Heard. They went after her to destroy her, rather than to try to promote it.
But now this hotel video makes her look like the mean one, like the actual bully. And that's a big problem for her case. And not only that, recently I just found out that Amber Heard is publicly defending Blake Lively. Yes, and now people are comparing Blake Lively to Amber Heard. And I get it, because remember how Amber tried to paint herself as a victim, but ended up looking like the actual problem. That's exactly what's happening to Blake right now. And the funny part is how Amber's lawyer came on News Nation to give her opinion on Blake's case. Now Amber Heard had the whole "Johnny Depp abused me" lawsuit, and people believed her at first, but the evidence started piling up against her, and what happened? She lost the case, lost Hollywood support, and now she's basically blacklisted. Now look at Blake. She's in a huge lawsuit. She's trying to make herself look like an innocent victim, but then bam. This hotel video drops, and suddenly people are seeing a whole different side of her, a controlling, vengeful side. And once the internet turns on you, it's over. So let's be real. This isn't just about a hotel video anymore. This is about Blake Lively's entire career, because she spent years building this perfect public image, the funny, cool, not like other girls actress, the one everyone loves. But now people are seeing cracks in that image, and Hollywood doesn't forgive easily.
She's serial fraudster. That's called fraud. When you want to do the one thing and you'll do the thing they're hiring you for, but all along you have secret plans to do something very, very different that's above your pay grade. And she finally bumped into someone who was weak enough and not famous enough to stop her.
If her lawsuit against Justin Baldoni falls apart, that's going to be embarrassing. Studios won't want to work with her because they don't want the drama. And this is what we just saw with her recent Amazon Prime flop. So here's the question. Is Blake Lively ruining her own career? Is this just a misunderstanding, or is she really a mean girl behind the scenes? Because let's be honest, if any other celebrity did this, people would be dragging them. And right now it looks like the internet is starting to turn on her. Let me know in the comments.